It is Sunday, May 3rd, 2020, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofatime, we're talking about Disney Cruise Line's Animator's Palate. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are in March. May 3rd, 2020, and there are still no cruise ships cruising, but luckily we can meet up here and talk about it anyways. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, you might have been expecting to see my good friend Stacy Schuyler here this weekend, but I tried to get in touch with her, and the girl is just too busy. She couldn't make it this weekend, but she might be here next weekend. Stay tuned. Today I wanted to talk about and show you around the Animator's Palate on the Disney Dream, one of the two cruises that we did get to do this year. Maybe the only two. Let's see how that goes. And I wanted to start this video by reading the description of what the Animator's Palate is from the Disney Cruise Line website, and I'm gonna try to do it in my best Disney voice-over voice, okay? Let me know how I do. Immerse yourself in the underwater world of the Disney Pixar film Finding Nemo. As you dine, enjoy a visit from some of your favorite Finding Nemo friends via spectacular digital animation and puppetry. You may even share in a conversation with Crush, the totally tubular turtle from the hit movie. How did I do? And I didn't realize it until I started researching for this video that actually on the other Disney ships there's a little bit more to it. So let me just read this for you too in my normal voice. It says, try your hand at drawing your very own character and then watch in wonder as your creation becomes part of the show, dancing alongside some of your favorite classic Disney characters. You won't believe your eyes. I don't know what that is. Please, if you've experienced that, write about it in the comments below. That sounds really cool. I'm gonna show you a lot more of the restaurant and the food and stuff like that coming up, but I have a lot I wanna say about it. That's why I decided to make this a Sunday Sofa Time video instead of just putting the restaurant footage all into a video. I was really excited about visiting the Animator's Palate because I had heard that it's like, you know, magical and a really cool experience. And some of my opinions that are coming up might be a little bit, I don't know, controversial. I didn't think it was as spectacular as it was made out to be, or definitely as it could have been. But, you know, it's kind of nitpicking because it was still really cool. Let's continue. On the Disney Dream, the entrance to the Animator's Palate is at the back of this super long hallway on the port side of the ship. I don't understand this design. This hallway just goes on and on and on. And as a reward, at the back is the Animator's Palate restaurant. When you enter the restaurant, you immediately notice that it's like really, well, the room is very big and it's really busy. There are sketches and figurines and like, I wanted to say merchandise, but you know, like props and books and sketches, all related to Disney and Pixar characters. Even the chairs look like they were cut out of Mickey's costume. I could have found a better way to say that. Even the chairs are inspired by Mickey's costume. In the beginning of the dining experience, a lot of things are just plain white and stationary. And then the menu shows up, and here's the cover of the menu, and it's got this kind of, you know, prism changing Mickey on it. Is this magical? Is this super impressive? Not really, but it is cool, and if you look at just the structure of the menu, it's still a really high quality menu. Let's take a look inside, and as always, please write what you would order in the comments below. I ordered one of these specialty cocktails, and I can't tell you anymore which one it was, but I'll show you what it looked like in a second. As my appetizer, I got the black truffle pasta persets, which, spoiler alert, is probably the favorite thing that I ate in any of the main dining rooms on the cruise. Marcus got the sliced serrano ham. You'll see all of this stuff in a minute. For our mains, Marcus got the ginger teriyaki dusted Angus beef tenderloin, and I got the black bean chipotle cakes, the sesame halloumi parcels, and another portion of the truffle parsettes. After you order, while you're waiting for the food to come, the atmosphere in the venue starts to change. The colors slowly turn blue, things start sort of moving, and when I say moving, I just mean like the lights change and a lot of the things that looked like they were pictures, stationary pictures on the walls, come to life. So they're TV screens and not really pictures. And slowly it's becomes like an underwater atmosphere. Here you can see that cocktail, and like I said, it's really pretty to look at, but I can't remember which one it was. And to tell you the truth, it was super sweet, and so I didn't drink it with my dinner. I decided to order a glass of wine instead, just because it was so sweet. It tasted like dessert, and I felt like it didn't mix with the flavors of dinner, you know what I mean? There's a piece of some amazing focaccia bread. This was the ham that Marcus got, and I have to say, presentation, not amazing, but flavors, I'm sure it was good. And here are these amazing truffle, they were like truffle raviolis with this creamy sauce. Oh, you guys, it was so good. I could have eaten this. If we do go on a Disney cruise again, I'm sure I will order many more of these. Moving on to the main course, here is Marcus's big chunk of meat. Very well prepared. And this was the, what was it called again? Sesame halloumi parcel, which was just okay. For vegetarian food, it was nice. It was kind of, you know, if you look at it though, I want to also say Disney probably could have done better. And the phyllo dough on the outside was very crispy, which is I guess how it's supposed to be, but altogether it was just kind of dry. I felt like I needed to douse it in some kind of sauce. These are the black bean chipotle cakes, which actually were also kind of dry. However, for people on like a special diet, a lot of protein in this dish. Altogether, the two vegetarian offerings on this menu I was a little bit disappointed with, but luckily I could just get the truffle pasta again, and I did not leave hungry. So after the main course was served, something sort of magical happened, and I'm going to tell you about that after this short commercial break. Did you get one? I have to tell you something. I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately, and the last few days, the only ads I've been seeing have been for things like online workshops, investment apps, and online like programming workshops. If you've been watching a lot of YouTube too, what have your ads been for? And if you just saw an ad, like I said, please let me know what it was in the comments below. So far you might have kind of heard that we had a good time and it was interesting to be there, but there wasn't anything about it yet that I thought, okay, this is like really special. Like I've never seen anything like this before. You know, changing light colors and turning a TV screen on to make it look like a picture comes to life. That's not anything like really groundbreaking or, you know, like David Copperfield style, like wow factor. You know what I mean? And if there was anything that might be really impressive that happened, it was that after the main course, while we're waiting for dessert, the characters from Finding Nemo show up in these screens, which are supposed to be, you know, like windows to the ocean, and pick certain people out of the dining crowd and talk to them. So at first you might think, okay, these are just like pre-recorded things that happen every night, but no, it's not. It's actually somebody performing live as this animated figure. And you know that because they actually have a conversation and they talk about like what the person is wearing or what they're doing. Like for instance, for us, they picked out this dude who was Disney bounding, so he kind of was dressed like Mickey, and he made him get up and do a little dance and show what he was wearing, and that was cool. But at the same time, like this is something that only like 1 or 2 people in this whole big area got involved in. And I can imagine that there's so many kids who see that happen and then they're disappointed that they don't get to be a part of it. It would be like going to a character greeting and forcing the kids to watch like 2 other kids in the group get to meet Mickey and talk to him, and they only get to watch. You know what I mean? I could imagine that just being very disappointing. All right, let's move on to dessert. And here is, of course, another really cool looking menu. And open it up, write your dessert in the comments below, and I'm gonna give you a little more time to watch this.
I saw you from across the room. When our eyes met, I never knew that I could feel this way, and it's kinda strange. Don't even know your name. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you. I don't know you, but I want to get to know you. Just wanna get to know you.
We We got quite a few desserts, and actually, in typical main dining room style, they basically brought us all the desserts if we ordered them or not. And you know, this is something, and you know, like I said, this is complaining at a very high level. It's nitpicking, but I mean, if you imagine that there might be somebody in the group who's like struggling maybe with an eating disorder or like really trying to stay on their diet, it kind of annoys me that like I say, all right, I want to order this dessert, and that is what I pick, and then they just bring everything to the table anyways. If you're having trouble staying on a diet, or if you're somebody who has issues with food and portions, the fact that all of a sudden there's 4 plates of dessert in front of you doesn't make your life easier. Do you know what I mean? Moving on. This, I believe, is the lemon icebox pie. This would be the cookies and cream sundae. This is, of course, the chocolate fudge cheesecake. Yum. And this was something that was on the menu in one of the other main dining rooms that night, and I can't remember what it was called, but it certainly looks cool. After dessert, the wait staff did a little dance party, and that's basically how the night ended. And then to sort of, you know, wrap it all up, the underwater scenes on the walls became stationary again, and you can see here the picture froze in this pose, and that was the end of the night. And that was the experience in the Animator's Palate. Like I said, for me, the food was okay, except for those amazing truffle ravioli things. And this isn't like really a complaint. It's just, I want to say that I feel like there's a lot more potential here. Like, it kind of just needs an upgrade. There was nothing happening there. If this is like the signature magical dining experience on this cruise, I feel like nowadays there's so much more you can do with that kind of technology to make it seem really magical. You know what I mean? Like you're really underwater. Like things are really coming to life that were stationary before. But now comes the time on Sunday Sofatime, which I forgot last week, where I comment on your comments live on air. In last week's Sunday Sofatime, by the way, I uploaded a bonus video last week if you missed it. I got on my bike and I went down to the cruise port here in Hamburg, which is totally deserted, but there's 2 cruise ships parked there, so I went and checked it out. So look at that too. Anyways, Sunday Sofatime last week, I compared many different categories of our Carnival cruise and our Disney cruise to just sort of see which one was better on each, because believe it or not, Disney was not better in every category, at least in my opinion. These comments are about that video. KT Mam said, writes, I love Disney cruises. They are definitely a higher quality. However, I love the price of Carnival. I never get off of a Carnival ship feeling ripped off, LOL. And that is such a great way to put it. You spend so much money on a Disney cruise and you do get so much for that money. And if you go on a Carnival cruise, you spend so much less. And if you go into it then with less expectations, you can have a really great time. And I was so surprised about how many things impressed me on Carnival. Next comment is from a very nice person named James Shrewsbury. I'm gonna read you all of the comments in this thread just to let you know what my life is like here sometimes on YouTube. James writes, how the hell is this even a question? I didn't even watch the video because this is such a stupid question. I ask, what do you mean? James writes, nothing compares to Disney. Carnival is the worst line out there. Don't ever compare anything to Carnival. They are last. So that's why it's a stupid question. I ask, how many Carnival cruises have you taken? James writes, none. I know they suck. Why would you take one with so many better options? I write, the fact that you've never cruised with Carnival makes you unqualified to participate in this discussion. Sorry, please try again. James writes, I beg to differ. I have friends I cruise with that have, and they say they suck. Told me to never ever go on one even if it's free. Let me just interject and say, if any of you get offered a free Carnival cruise that you don't want to take, send it my way. I wrote, I decided to gather my own information, was surprised at how much I enjoyed Carnival and that there were things I liked more about Carnival than Disney. Watch the video, you'll see what I mean. And I mean, that's what I try to do here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides, is just tell it like it is. If it's better or worse, you guys know me, right? James answered, well, that just lost you a lot of viewers. That shows us all you don't have a clue. Okay, James, I get it. I'm sorry. Moving on. Final comment is a little bit similar to that last guy. What was his name again? But it's a little bit more thoughtfully presented. It's from JG. JG writes, let me start by telling you that I love your channel. Thank you. But I don't understand why you did a comparison of Carnival versus Disney. This is like comparing apples to oranges. How about comparing the 3 mainstream cruise lines to each other? I would much rather see a Royal versus NCL or Carnival versus Royal. Anyway, take care and stay safe. I actually answered this comment also on YouTube, but I just wanted to mention that the reason that I decided to compare these two is because people think they are so different. Carnival has a certain reputation, Disney has a certain reputation, and I wanted to experience both of them for myself and tell you what it was like for me. And like I said, I was totally surprised that there were things about Carnival that I like better than Disney. I absolutely was not expecting that in advance, and the only way that I could figure that out was by actually trying it myself and not just listening to other people. Everybody's opinion is different, and that doesn't mean that because I enjoyed the food on Carnival better, that means it is better. It just means that I like it better. As far as the other points there, I do have comparisons of RCL or RCCL, Royal Caribbean, to NCL on my channel, 2 of them actually, and I will be doing Carnival versus Royal, Disney versus NCL, and all that coming up here on future Sunday Sofa Times. And that is your Sofa Time for this week. Thanks everybody. Thanks for staying home, staying safe, staying healthy, for coming back here every week. If you haven't checked it out yet, please check out my second channel. I did get my vanity URL now, so it is youtube.com/GutenMorgan with A-N, like my name is spelled. I've already got a lot of videos over there, so if you can't get enough of me, go check it out. See you soon.